Welcome, everybody, to another live edition of our roundtable. I'm your host, Jay, and thank you guys so much for being here and being a part of this podcast right here live in our studios from Inside Out. We actually have Tin Man in here. How's it going, Tin Man? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you as always. And we have, where did he go? There he is, my good friend Curtis. He said, hello, Jay, how you doing? I'm basically doing pretty good, hanging in there the best I can. Thank you so much, Curtis, for being in here. And all the rest of you that are watching far and wide, I appreciate every single one of you that are here. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this podcast. Now, as you guys, some of you may know, I went on vacation and I just got back, actually, and I actually had a good time. Before we get into the topic tonight, I just want to let you know that, I got to see a few things that I didn't get to see, so it made it worth the trip. But I want to give a shout out to Orphan Annie, and before I do that, my good friend Tammy is in here, so let's welcome her real quick. Hey, Tammy, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hanging in there.
Hanging in there, huh?
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
be saying,
But
fantastic. I just came off of this fun vacation. What's up?
say that again.
I said you should be saying I had a fantastic time with my family.
Oh no, I was going. I was in the middle of my thing, so just bear with me for a second.
I'm not gonna let you slide, man.
Oh, fine, fair enough. Fine, you win. I'm kidding. Anyways, so I did have a good time with the family and all that, and I did get to see some exhibits and all that. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I went to an old retired prison. And I did make a video on it, so I'm in the process of trying to take care of that video too as well for all of you that are wondering what's going on with that. So I got to edit it and all that fun jazz, and just never had the time to do that stuff, but it's there. And I did get to see the Titanic museum and a few other exhibits, so I had one heck of a good time. Very busy, a lot of traffic, but it was worth it. So major shout out to Orphan Annie, if she gets in here tonight anyways, for showing me and telling me about that prison over there in Tennessee. Anyways, just Jules. Jules, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you as always. And she gets in here and says this real quick before we get started. Here listening and supporting my son's extremely, sorry, say that again. Here listening and supporting my son's extremely sick and in nebulizer treatments. Oh, okay, I understand. Because his breathing and oxygen is crap, but I'm listening on my earbud and will chime in when possible. Okay, totally understandable.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Hear that.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
But just Jules, I understand where you're coming from. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you as always. So before we get into the details tonight, as you guys can see in the title description, we're talking about addiction, and that all plays a part with every kind of addiction that is out there known to man. All right, including from some things that are not too fond of talking about, but we're going to put it out there anyway, so it's all going to get exposed. So, what do you think about tonight's topic, there, Tammy?
Well, somebody's got to do it. Might as well be us. Why not?
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
Dabble in this taboo subject, touchy taboo subject, but
yeah.
I believe most of us know that just like there are gateway drugs, let's just get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, absolutely.
And love addiction can be a gateway to other things.
Yeah, and you'd be amazed. A lot of people may not think this, and I don't even know if you guys know this, a lot of you out there. But believe it or not, love, addiction, and all things that tie into it is an addiction. And we're going to go through the list of all of the addictions here tonight, and hopefully we can figure out what causes the addictions so we can curtail it and stop it from happening, which also will lower the crime rate, I believe. So that's how I look at it. Anyways, Tammy, so did you want to start off with the top 10 list first, and we'll go from there?
Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's see here. Let me get to it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the share screen. As you guys know, if you've never followed me, that's how I do things. I like to put the evidence and proof up on the screen. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And where's my settings now? This thing's got oh, there it is. See, this thing got updated, so everything looks different on my screen. Hey, Redeeming, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah, that's true, Redeeming. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you as always. So let's go ahead and do the share screen and get this thing set up real quick.
Okay.
Allow. All right. And here we go.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure everybody can see this on the screen because everybody's screen settings and whatnot are different. So I want to make sure everybody can see this. Can you see this, Tammy, okay, on your screen?
Oh, I can see it perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the top 10 addictions in modern society. Number 1 is coffee. Coffee is an addictive substance.
Absolutely.
So, we all know coffee is widely used in society and it's generally accepted pretty much, but it can open the door to overuse, and drinking too much caffeine causes restlessness, anxiety, muscle tremors, insomnia, irritability. Its safe zone is not more than 5 cups a day or 600 milligrams. But Starbucks is Starbucks for a reason, right? I mean, it is an addiction. So number 2 is tobacco.
Hey, Mark. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Hi, Mark. Is tobacco and nicotine. So despite the increasing awareness of the dangers of smoking tobacco, it is still the leading contributor to causing health damage worldwide.
Correct.
An incredible 1.3 billion deaths are connected to tobacco annually.
That's scary. And I used to be a smoker too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, it starts there. When we were growing up, we had candy cigarettes, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the World Health Organization, WHO, as we all know them, reported that smoking causes 90% of lung cancers in men and 70% of lung cancer in women, and contributes to almost 80% of the cases of respiratory diseases and 22% of cardiovascular diseases.
Yeah, imagine that.
So,
and they don't tell you this stuff either. Go ahead.
Nicotine is an additive substance in tobacco, and it's actually a toxin. It's a tar and a toxic gases.
Correct.
From burning the tobacco cause the most damage. Safe zone is 0 amounts of tobacco. The safe zone is 0. Just abstinence, guys.
Basically, don't even start.
And this one gets me, number 3 gets me all the time because it has caused so much damage.
I hate this word.
I do too. Number 3, alcohol. If alcohol was invented in modern times, it most certainly would be made illegal in modern society.
Correct.
Although alcohol has been grandfathered into or contemporary norms as it is a fact as an additive and deadly as the most illicit drugs. It is scientifically linked to 60 types of diseases, including multiple cancers, epilepsy, and contributes highly to statistics on murder and motor vehicle accidents. Alcohol use is increasing worldwide and is abused in societies that permit it. The safe zone is just 14 units of alcohol per week, and that should be spread out over 7 days.
Yeah, and if I can go ahead. Sorry.
We both have a story on this one, but go ahead, Jay.
Sorry for cutting you off there, Tammy, but I wanted to let you know, and everybody watching that even you heard it right there, guys. The alcohol, obviously, in this few sentences here, obviously it's not good for the human body or anything. It causes diseases. It causes issues. DUI accidents. People die with this stuff, but they keep selling it. They keep making it. They know it's wrong. See, what I don't get is they keep this in stores. They sell this right along with nicotine and tobacco, but they allow or get rid of other stuff. I just don't understand how the thinking in society is. I just does not make any sense to me how some
And
things are allowed and some things aren't. Go ahead.
we know that it curbs inhibitions and things the way people would normally act. But
Hmm.
when they're under the influence of alcohol, all holds bar
Yep.
is off.
Yep.
And when you're drunk and in that euphoric state that we will be talking about tonight, crimes are committed
Yeah.
because the gloves come off.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that the gloves are off because your brain is not there.
Correct.
Your alcohol is the one drug that we can take that will damage every organ in your body. Every single organ in your body
Yeah.
is
And
damaged by alcohol.
my father, believe it or not, was an alcoholic. At least I believe he was. And he had one night he ended up getting what is it called, poisoning, alcohol poisoning, and had to get
Mm-hmm.
his stomach pumped because he drank too much. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know when to quit,
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
and
terrible.
he became very violent when he's drunk.
Yeah, it changes the personality of the person.
Hmm. So,
Number 4, sex addiction.
hmm.
In modern society, new medias and the internet have developed an increase in sex
Absolutely.
addiction.
Hmm.
Just like the abuse of other substances or practices, sex addicts use it to escape from reality, relive anxiety, or to fulfill compulsions. It is estimated that 8% of men and 3% of women are affected by sex or relationship addiction. For
Hmm.
many, sex becomes compulsive behavior rather than expression of love. It can be connected to low self esteem, and addicts develop unhealthy dependencies on hollow sexual encounters, such as one night stands or a related practice such as pornography addiction.
There you
Now,
go.
I want to make a point with the two right there, alcohol and sex.
Yes.
We advertise that more than we do anything else in this country
And you want to? Hey, Tammy, do you want to explain why that is?
because it sells. Because
Thank
it's
you.
supposed to be no,
Thank you.
it's taboo. We're not supposed to be running around naked or natural or any of that because we made it a bad thing. And
Yeah.
so by having bad naughty things, that's what people want to do is all the bad naughty stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Imagine
Yeah,
that.
it is. Imagine that. Imagine that. Anyway,
You see what I did there?
uh,
You see what I did there?
yes. 5 illegal and prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Legal opiates like Oxycontin are particularly
Oh, I
relevant
know
at the
so much
moment
about
in the
that.
US and good
Yes.
example of how addictive and dangerous prescription medicine can be. The
Hmm.
problem is that doctors prescribe appropriate drugs in good faith, but there's not enough education or support for those in need to stop or when they should stop. In
Hmm.
addition, some prescription drugs are highly addictive, and it has created an opioid drug abuse epidemic in the US for many people who just need painkillers.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing, and Jay and I were talking about this, and then I'll read the next little bit. But it's funny to me how Big Pharma made Oxycontin, then Big Pharma made methadone clinics.
Yeah.
So they got paid one way and then they got paid to cure their own problem. So
Oh,
that's how they pay off all their major lawsuits, folks. So the the problem is there's also the additional hazard of younger people stealing and experimenting with drugs they
yeah.
can find at home and
Because it's
mommy
so
and
easy to.
daddy's cabinet. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Tammy. It's so easy to gain and grab. It's so easy to make.
Yeah, and the safe zone should be exactly what is prescribed in the short term. That's another thing. I mean, doctors all too well, unfortunately, they overcrowd their books and this and that and don't take the time to sit with their patients. It's just easier to throw a prescription at them and say,
Yeah.
here's your cure. And so, illegal drugs are, of course, not good for you. Drugs such as cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, etc., are bought on the black market, which is unregulated, unethical, and highly dangerous.
Hmm.
Taking illegal drugs is extremely dangerous as the buyer will not know where the drugs are made, what is in the drugs, and what will happen after they have been consumed. The United Nations estimates that 185 million people worldwide were consuming illegal drugs in the late 1990s. The
Imagine that,
safe
guys.
zone
That's ridiculous.
is
Wow.
zero in all cases. And on the tip of this, I want to say this because if you think about all these things, they all are in prisons in a different way, maybe made or done, like the K2. I was informed the other night that Rick's ex cellmate, he's still in the same prison, but
Oh.
now he's on the side of the prison side, not the intake side. And he was in this one cell, and his mom needed some help getting him out of that cell, putting another because it was leaking
Hmm.
water through the ceiling. And so they got him moved, and they were supposed to red tag the cell for maintenance to fix it. And they put somebody else in the cell. And the young man that got put in the cell, they gave him some K2.
Oh
And
man.
then they all took turns with him that night. Do you hear me?
Yeah. No, I heard you.
Is Priya going off in your head anywhere?
Yeah. Gee.
Like, see, it's a problem in there, even the K2 and and I, for those of you that don't know, what they'll do is they'll soak paper with it, and then they'll use the paper. It's almost like acid paper, almost like LSD would be back
Right.
in the day. And the problem with it is they don't control the amount that they're putting soaking into the paper, and a lot of people are ODing in prisons from it. So it's a huge problem. Number 6, gambling.
Yes.
While only 1 to 2% of adults develop problems with gambling, it still continues to be a significant number of the population. Compulsive gamblers tend to remember the highs of the wins and block out all the times they lose. The excitement of the next win distorts the reality and the level of risk they are taking with their money and possessions. 80% of adults have gambled at least once in the past year, and although most people have a fun and healthy relationship with it, the safe zone for gambling is if betting losses result in an inability to meet your regular financial obligations
Yeah.
or provoke illegal activity, then
Hmm.
steps must be taken to change the destructive gambling behavior.
I have to say, with that being said, there, Tammy, and thank you so much for reading that. I appreciate it. I have to say, I've never experienced this. I mean, I don't gamble because again, I can't afford it. So I never got to really say I've done a lot of this. Yes, I went to the casino a few times and played the slot machines, but I'm not like an addict, and I don't got it like that to throw away. So I can't consider myself, a addict when it comes to gambling. But yeah, it can be very addicting though. Go ahead, Tammy. All right. I don't know what happened to Tammy. I don't know if she's still here or not. Nope, she's not. She fell out. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this real quick. It says here, number 7, the internet and modern technology. Now, keep in mind, guys, because of the invention of the internet, a lot of things have made another addictions possible. And you're looking at it right here on your screen. And here's some of the data that is coming back on this. And Nico's in here. Hi, Nico. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. And thanks you for everybody else that has joined and being a part of this podcast. I appreciate you guys nonetheless. I'll get to you guys' comments and chats here in a minute. Number 7, the internet and modern technology. A recent phenomenon has developed called novophobia, which means no mobile phone phobia. Interesting. Anyways, it says this and describes the attachment some people have to their modern devices. Now, like for me, you guys know we all carry around these bad boys right here. And every time you go out in public, like with me, I go out in public. This is all you ever see, guys, is everybody's on their phones, their faces in the screen. You don't see communication, even in restaurants nowadays. You can't even sit in a restaurant and have a decent dinner with your family without somebody being on their phone instead of just having a nice meal and conversation with your friends and family. It's just weird how addicted everybody is with these things. And you'd be amazed what happens if they lose these things. They go nuts. They can't survive without these damn things. It's crazy. Very, very sad. So there's that information right there, guys. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and get down to the next paragraph, as you guys can see. According to modern research, internet addiction especially affects young people. Yep, the young youth, teenagers, you get it. And symptoms include feeling of depression and anxiety when separated from their phones. Told you. It has also been shown that there is a dopamine boost from overusing certain social medias, which contributes to the addiction explanation. So basically, they can't live without their social media platforms. People are hooked. They want to go viral. They want to make money. It's all about everything. Popularity. You get it. All right, moving down the list real quick, guys. And we're going to move on to the number 8 and get past this list. As you guys can see here, it says this. An interesting experiment is to ask yourself how much anxiety would you feel without your mobile phone? Yeah, that's a good question. Or to perhaps try to not use your phone for a certain amount of time. Nico said, I got you, brother. I love Tammy. She's my best friend. That's awesome. Well, that's awesome. I can't argue that. Tammy is a very good person. That is damn true. But anyways, thank you for being here, nonetheless. All right. So you guys can see right there, the internet is an addiction. I'll move on real quick. I'll make this quick. Number 8, video games. I can't say I'm addicted to them, but my kids are to a certain extent. Moving down the line here, food. Now, that is something that certain kind of foods, anyways, I am addicted to. So I'll have to say number 9 kind of fits into me. 10 number is work. I think my wife is addicted to work, but I'm not. But anyways, as you guys can see there's the 10 descriptions right there, that people are addicted to. Of course, there's obviously a lot of other addictions that we can't fit in here tonight. But if you guys want this information plus all other information, guys, everything is going to be in the description of this video tonight with the links. So hit this, what you see here, and go from there. But I'm going to come back to the main screen, guys. And I'm going to let Tammy back in. Hey, Tammy, how's it going? I lost you.
Yeah, it's a storm, so Rick, it's not Rick. We're in a big storm, tropical storm type thing. Do you hear the thunder?
Wow, that was big. Okay, I understand.
I'm having a party over here. What's wrong with you?
Well, I love storms, but you're not going to get washed out, are you?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I think you should do the video next. It's really good. It'll explain a lot.
Okay.
And then we can really get into the topic. It should say Love and S video podcast.
Okay, 1 second here. I'm just going through. Nico said social media. Yep, everybody's addicted to social media. Tim Man said, at least with work, I spend my time earning instead of spending. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. And then Redeemer said, be safe. Yeah, she said, be safe to you, I should say, for your storm. Oh. And Curtis said, hey, Tammy. So Curtis said, hey.
Hi, Curtis. Hi, everybody.
Okay. So let's go back to what Canelo see. What video you wanted to go to? The sex addiction versus love.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Let me see if this is the one. It says in the yes versus love addiction. What's the difference? Blonde woman.
Well, let's see. I gotta go. Let me bear with me for 1 second. I gotta see which one we're looking at here. I don't know if that's. Let's see. I'll hit the. I only got one YouTube video, and there it is.
Yeah,
so
that's it. That's it.
Okay, let me go back. Let me do a share screen thing. All right, guys, we're going to go back and do the share screen. Bear with us. Thank you, Tammy, for keeping me in check.
Oh, you're good.
Is this it, Tammy?
I can't see the share screen yet. It hasn't popped up.
Oh, it. Did I lose connection or is something going on with my thing? I just did it. Isn't it still not there?
No, it's not.
Okay, that's weird. Bear with me then. What about now?
Yeah, now.
Okay, so is that it?
No, that's not the video.
Okay, 1 second.
Wait, does it say doctors? Yeah, go ahead. It says
Yeah, it says the
doctors.
doctors.
Yes, go ahead, hit it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and play this video and leave your comments and thoughts and whatnot in the comment section. Here we go. And all credit goes to the channel, The Doctors, not me.
Welcome, Brian Davis, to the show, and our good friend, Dr. Drew.
Hi.
Hey, Brian, I want to get right into it. A lot of people, will look at the tape or read your story and say, come on, how are you addicted to, love or, sex addiction? No, that's someone who just wants to have a lot of sex.
Well, I always knew from a young age, especially growing up in the South, that I was different, that I didn't have normal relationships like my friends. I never wanted to get married. I never wanted children. And I just felt like something was missing inside, that I was missing that gene to want to completely commit to another person. But it wasn't just about sex. And it was more about that high from falling in love, having power and control over another person, because inside I felt like this hole that nothing was ever enough. Whenever I would get something, I would always want more. It's that disease of more, is what we call it. More love, more attention, more flirting, more intrigue, just more. I just need more to fill me.
Well, Brian, you're right on. We've all felt that the power of love when we fall in love. But, coming where you did from the South, I would think that once you moved to Hollywood for your career as an actress, that maybe that wasn't the best place for you. Did that fast lifestyle amplify, those tendencies that you realized you had as far as love, sex, and addiction?
I would agree with you completely. My therapist actually said I picked the worst career for my addiction. But being in Hollywood, for me, I was never one of those actresses that was in the party scene or the Hollywood scene. My disease manifested very differently from other people. I was almost like, I like to say it, a closeted sex and love addict. I was very proper on the outside, but like inside I was that snake that was coming around to get you when you least expect it. But for me, like I said, it wasn't about, being with the richest man or getting a job through producers or sleeping around. I wasn't a one night stand sex and love addict. For me, it was about power control over somebody else.
When you talk about sex addiction, what do you mean by sex addiction? How did that play out? And then I want you to differentiate that with the love addiction and how that played out.
And majority of sex addicts, they use porn, they use masturbation, one night stands. They are constantly having sex and it's never enough, and they have multiple partners. And the side of love addiction, it's your high is romance, fantasy, intrigue, flirting, and I had a combination of both. Like, for example, for me, I would always have one main relationship, a boyfriend at home in LA that I could count on. But I could always have one foot in the door and kind of one foot out, like flirting when I went to get coffee, or somebody DMing me and I'll flirt a little back. And then I would find myself after a year or a year and a half in a relationship, that butterflies, that intensity, that excitement, in every relationship would go away. And I would find myself on location, flirting with my co-star or having a showmance, which is very common in Hollywood. A showmance is when You go on set, on location for a month, 2, 3, and you pick somebody to be romantically involved with. And then when the movie or the TV show's over, the relationship is over. And it was behind my boyfriend's back. So I was definitely a cheater and a liar and a thief. I literally did everything I could to get my needs met.
There you guys go. So what's your take on that, Tammy?
Well, here's the thing, and I'm putting it in there. So when we do these things, whether it's like Timon said, he does this thing where he just goes in and pleases a person. But if you're not being totally honest with yourself or the other person, and anybody, any of us, whether it's a cheating thing or it's not being honest of where you want a relation to go by being people pleasing to too many people, the other people that are involved that don't see the other side of what's going on, like me and you, Jay, a working relationship. If I'm podcasting with other people and you're podcasting with other people, but we're not on the level with each other and we're out doing all these other things and we're not aware, we can't make a conscious decision whether to continue on in a working relationship for a better goal. Because then I'm not giving you the honest facts up front so that you can make a truthful decision for your own self. Hey, should I keep doing podcasts with Tammy, or should I just go and put my stake my future somewhere else, because you're sitting here depending on what we're doing and our goals that we're reaching out for, but we're not keeping all the facts there. And when you cheat on somebody, whether it is through emotional or like Curtis, romantic love. So here's the thing, though, you have to find that other partner that wants the same thing you do,
and that's hard to find. That's hard to find.
It is, because people aren't realistic anymore. We are in a self-gratifying, instant, give it to me right now, instantaneous gratification society.
Yeah, they can't be patient. They can't wait.
No, do you remember, Jay, when we were kids, if you went to a restaurant, you waited for a little while for the food? It wasn't just like as if you had magically poof, it's there.
Yeah.
It was on a buffet. No, we waited for it to actually be cooked, or the steak to be cut fresh, or whatever be it. And now it's like
we didn't have these
10 minutes.
We didn't have these though for entertainment while we're waiting for our food either.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, but in order to get that kind of love, Curtis, I'm going to tell you this, and this is, you'll hear it a million times in your lifetime. You have to find self-love before any other love, true love, will ever come to you. Because people feed off of that energy, that if you don't love yourself, they'll feed off of it, and the wrong people will be attracted to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And Curtis said it right here, I'm very giving. Yeah. And that's and people walk over that.
They do. You have to find the right person that you see out there giving just as much as you're giving. You can't, people are, I don't think it's a gender-based thing, male versus female. I think it's a personality thing. I think it's we all have our childhood trauma. I think that's where a lot of this sex, love, addiction issues are coming up, is through the childhood trauma injuries. We felt abandoned. We felt neglected. We felt not loved.
Right. Well, and if I may, because I'm married myself currently still, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying hypothetically here, marriages and love today don't mean anything like they used to back in the day. Today people marry for all the wrong reasons, or fall in love for all the wrong reasons, and just like Tim said here, sugar daddies, people just marry because they want to see what they can get out of it. instead of the purpose and the real definition behind it. What do you think, Tammy, on that? That's how I feel about it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, we have those issues, but we also have how I see it. We also have all the issues with people themselves. I don't know. You got to be true. You have to be who you are. You cannot go out and pretend to be somebody else. My husband is the
Yeah.
absolute example. And someday, guys, I'm going to tell you his real story, and it's heartbreaking. He spent his life, he was bred to do one specific thing, and that's all he was told he would ever be, and that's what he was supposed to do and be in life.
Mhm.
And it just, that hole, that void, he searched and he searched and he searched, and he didn't get it. I've known him for 40 years. That's a long time to know a person.
Yeah.
And he never got to be who he was. He didn't enjoy it. Let me tell you a sad thing. His birthday was Monday.
Oh, wow.
And I cried because he said to
I know.
me, I sent him a card over Securus. Of course, he didn't get it when he was supposed to, and the cards that I mailed out, he didn't get those when he was supposed to either.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And so here I am. I sang him happy birthday, and I started crying when I was singing it because it was like hurt me. Because
I
last
know.
year we celebrated his birthday together. And I
Right.
said, I said, I hate this. I absolutely hate it. And he said, baby, I want to tell you something. He said, you made me smile so big right now. He said, I know. He said, stop crying. He said, he said, all my birthday that I had before last year for the last several years have been my money that I earned buying me my birthday from the people I was with. They didn't go bake me cheesecake homemade like you did from scratch. He said they didn't do that. He
Right.
said they spent my hard-earned money. They were bought and paid for birthdays. They weren't meaningful. They meant nothing.
Hmm.
He said it was all for show. He said, and that broke my heart because I just thought about the heartache in that he's still an injured child on the inside. That's what
Hmm.
that told me. You know what I'm saying? What
Right.
about you, Jay? When you think back,
Well,
holiday events and stuff.
well, you want my honest here. Well, I'm glad you asked though. So here it is. Like what you're going through when I was locked up, holidays, birthdays, any holiday, not just birthdays, they were hard on me, and I still look back at it and still get teary eyed over it because I lost my toddler years when it comes to my kids and my wife, don't get me wrong. And it was hard, very, very hard on me. So, I did most of the crying over the phone in prison than my wife did crying on the phone when she was at home, if that makes any sense. So it was vice versa. I was the crying one,
Yeah, I
you
can
know.
see it.
So it
And you
hurt
think
me.
about it,
It
like,
hurt.
yeah, it hurts. It rips your darn heart out. And Curtis, listen, I love you. I love you all. But the thing is, you know, I'm with you. I don't go where sharks are either. I was
Right.
done before Rick came back to me. I was done. I was tired of it all.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with the whole being you know, in real love. It's very hard to find nowadays.
Mhm.
These devices are killing us all.
Mhm. I know. Yeah. So everybody's spot on. Thank you guys, Tim and Curtis. Thank you guys so much for your comments there. I do appreciate you guys more than you know. Again, I love and respect every single one of you guys for being here. You guys make this podcast pretty dang awesome. So, and you too, Tammy. So just so you know,
Oh,
with that, while the comments are still coming in here, do you want me to go to that other one real quick, Tammy? It's called the. See, what time do I have? Okay, I still got time. Sex and Love and Addiction Anonymous.
That is a reference. That one can just be tagged in there. There's one more that I sent you that
Okay.
actually has. Let me find which one it is. I'm so
I think it's
sorry.
called "What Is Sex and Love Addiction." Is that
Yeah,
it?
probably.
Okay. I mean, I just
We're
want to make sure
terrible,
that
aren't we?
everybody's on the same page. um,
Article Love and S Addiction podcast.
all right. Let me see.
You want me to just forward it to you real quick? Would that be faster?
Well, whatever is work. Let me see if I can find them first. And I mean, let's see.
It would have been the first thing I ever sent you on this whole subject.
Or how about if I do this? If it's wrong, I'll do share screen. If it's wrong, you just let me know in when you see it on the screen. Okay.
Turning Point of Tampa is what it's going to say with a palm tree on it.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So I can go over this one a little bit, and then the other one we can just that one is just for anybody that wants to find a support group in their area that may need it or knows somebody that needs it.
Mm-hmm.
What is sex and love addiction? Do you want me to read it, or you?
Go ahead, Tammy.
Both
I
sex
appreciate it.
addiction and love addiction are mental disorders characterized by an impaired ability to engage in healthy emotional intimacy. Men or women suffering from either disorder typically have obsessive thoughts and compulsions leading to unhealthy behaviors. A sex or love addiction may negatively impact a person's health, personal relationships, job, and ability to function responsibly in their life.
That's amazing. Wow.
It's crazy. Sex addiction, called hypersexual disorder by some experts, is the compulsive need to engage in sexual acts to achieve a sense of euphoria.
Yep.
There's that word again, euphoria.
Yep.
It's
That's all.
similar.
See, so basically, like drugs, alcohol, cell phones, and other activity gives you that euphoria
That
that you're
high.
craving. Yeah. It's like a
Similar
drug.
to that. Yeah, it is. It's similar to that produced by mind altering substances.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual acts may include obsessively looking at pornography, compulsive masturbation,
Yeah.
voyeurism, exhibitionism, sorry,
I'm the same way.
paying for S, and having multiple, often anonymous S partners, because
Yeah.
S addiction often worsens over time. And this is a good point I want to make with all the things that we're seeing, P. Diddy and
Yeah.
Epstein and all these things with these
Addictions.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if they had gotten help way before it got out of hand, it never would have got out of hand.
Well, I believe, hey, Tam, I also believe that fame didn't help them either.
No, it didn't, because people with money and have everything and can't get high off of life will look for the stretches. Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey went so popular? It's pushing that envelope. It's pushing the envelope. All of the things that push the envelope. So, according to Mayo Clinic, some signs of compulsive sexual behavior include intense sexual fantasies, urges, behaviors that feel as if they are beyond your control.
Yep.
A drive for certain sexual behaviors, a release of tension afterward, but also guilt or remorse. Unsuccessfully attempts to reduce or control your sexual urges or behavior. The use of sexual behavior to escape from other problems such as loneliness, depression, anxiety, or stress. Sexual behaviors that may result in giving or contracting a sexually transmitted infection, damage relationships, or cause work, financial, or legal problems.
Wow.
Trouble establishing and maintaining healthy and stable relationships.
Yeah,
Now, there are people that have just sex addiction and just love addiction. And then you have most people, I think, have a combination of the two. So
all above.
Love addiction is a little different. Love addiction is often a pattern of intense infatuations and obsessive relationships, as well as a tendency to be desperate and insecure in relationships. A person suffering from a love addiction often seeks excitement of and sexual rush
Mhm.
of a new relationship, but cannot maintain a lasting feeling of attachment. Signs
Hmm.
of love addiction may include achieving a sense of euphoria
There's that word again.
again
There's that word.
from the fantasized relationship,
Yeah.
feeling desperate or uneasy when separated from the partner, excessive interest in the new relationship to the exclusion of other interests, or using the relationship to hide from the negative feelings or situations that we don't want to deal with in life.
Yeah.
So one of the things that hits home with me on these, I used to tell people, and I joked about it after my divorce from my second husband.
Hmm.
First of all, at the age of 53, I've never been with a man that was faithful. Big issue for me. Big issue because I'm too nice. I'm too caring. I did too much. I put myself into the other person and forgot about giving to myself. And maybe if I'd have given to myself more, I wouldn't have been in a relationship with somebody so selfish. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so
And Tin Man hit that right on the nail. It said, people want to help drug addicts. See, pay attention to this because this is spot on. People want to help drug addicts, but not sex addicts, unfortunately. And that is the way I look at it.
that's true. But here's the thing that's crazy is that sometimes those drug addicts were maybe a love or sex addict at the beginning and went
Hmm.
into the drugs to compensate for what they couldn't get in that arena.
Yeah.
See, this all is a building. I just want people to understand that this is a gateway. And
Yeah.
to me, it's a gateway, and I think I really do think it stems from a couple of different things. Childhood PTSD
Yep.
from abuse from either parents
Hmm.
or adults that were in the care, the children were in the care of, whether it be at a school, a church,
Hmm.
an organization. Look at Boy Scouts. I hate to throw somebody under the bus or anything, but and I'm not being mean. Like I'm really being serious. Like all these organizations, and Jay, you and I talked about this very heavily before we decided
Yeah.
to do this topic tonight.
Yeah.
Where in the hell? I just want to know. One of our friends in the group posted a video today that really bothered me and burned me up. This man who was a coach took these two young kids, ages 6 to 9, both kids,
Gosh,
and
here we
one
go.
of them he abused over 50 times. Are you telling me over a 10-year period? How in the hell did nobody notice that that kid was in distress at some point in
Yeah.
10 years?
Yeah. Preach, Tammy. Preach. Yeah. I know.
Where in the hell we need, you know what we need? We need
I'm coming back to
classes for
I'm going
parents.
to come back to main screen. Go ahead, Tammy.
We need to have classes for parents to become aware, and for adults. We need that village mentality, you guys. We've got to. Because listen, children can't defend themselves.
Hmm.
They're just like the inmates that are in prison right now that things are happening with really bad that I'm seeing here in Texas
Hmm.
right now. Um, they have no voice. Kids don't have a voice. They're either intimidated by the person or they
Hmm.
truly love the person because it's a parent or something, as sick as that sounds. There was another one, a woman, I believe the same friend in our group posted about the
Hmm.
mother with the 1 and 3 year old that
Wow.
she was abusing, and then she was making videos and selling the videos to men. Um,
Wow.
and they
Just,
were telling her what to do. I know it makes me, I just all over it makes me want to throw up. This is the thing, guys. It takes a village. We have children. We guard
so
animals better than we do children. And
Yeah.
it's a problem. We cannot just blame
Well,
the offender. We have to take responsibility as a village to, where are the kids right now? Where are the kids? You know what? I knew where my kids were. I
well,
promise.
and if I may, to everybody, including you, Tammy, thank you so much for bringing that up. It's like, so I always say this. Here's my question. I think I've asked you this, Tammy, and everybody in the chat. What do you think? I know the answer, but I want to hear you guys. What do you guys think that can curtail or stop or help or basically get rid of what causes this in the first place? Go ahead.
I
How
think
can we
medically,
stop abuse?
we know it's not the genitalia that they're after. We know it's a
No.
mind sickness. So I think that the people that are offending to the point of, we know 100% that they're really guilty. I'm not talking about these guys that are getting hemmed up, or these mothers where it's a nasty divorce or somebody's got a hidden agenda. I'm talking about somebody that filmed it and we know that they did it.
Yeah.
We know 100% legit. There's DNA, there's something.
Hey, John Doe.
Those people, we could give them the opportunity to be basically, I mean, guinea pigs as part of a medical program. We study every damn thing else. Why not? What kind of investment can we make in our children to study? We've done medical studies on serial killers.
Right.
We've done all kinds of
And
psychological evaluations. Why can't we do that with these serious offenders?
right. And if I may, because we're on a great topic here. And if I have to go over my time, I go over my time. It is what it is. Mark said this, and Mark, if you can hear me, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for doing that, Mark. He said this in the chat, and you guys can see it on the screen. He says, and there are people trying to normalize it now. Now, a journalist in California, of all places, I mean, there's a lot of weird things going on in California, but listen to this. California wrote an article saying if guns can't be outlawed, yeah, they're using guns, believe it or not, neither should pedophilia. What's your guys' take on that, Tammy?
I think that's ridiculous. I think that that's just the most
You
stupid
can't even
thing that
compare the two. You can't
I
compare
mean,
that.
like, there's a difference. Okay,
Yeah.
listen. Yes, guns hurt people and kill people. It's not the gun, it's the persons. It's the same damn thing. We have got to start having that. I'll say this a billion times. Listen, folks.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that
Thank you, Redeeming.
Uncle Stewie over there is not right in the head, then the village should all be watching Uncle Stewie. If we know Aunt Sue or Karen,
Yeah.
Karen is over there doing
Right.
something crazy,
Yep.
we're a village. As a village, we protect. What do you protect in a village if you have hungry tigers circling your village? You
Yeah.
protect your children and you protect your women most of the time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's old school. That's more kind of along the biblical thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
But, listen, I always firmly believe this. We protect our children.
Well, yeah,
Because
that's
they didn't
common,
ask to be here. We brought them here.
and that's a common sense thing to do. I'm a parent. I protect mine. I mean, obviously, when I went on vacation, I knew where my kids were all the time when I was out and about at these exhibits. They didn't leave my eyesight, even though they're adults now. It doesn't matter. Adults or not, they're still my babies. So carry on.
I mean, like, think about it though, Jay, right where you live. Okay, the area you live in, Florida. I
Mm-hmm.
used to live over there too. I used to tell my oldest daughter, she would go with her friends and they always went in a group to the beach. Because how many girls get snatched up on those beaches? And where do they end up in as part of the sex slave trade? And it happens all the time. You have to teach those things in them. I used to tell my daughters,
Thank you, John.
when you're going to your car, you don't sit there and stare down at your damn phone. Be aware of what's going on. You can look
And
at your
that's what I
phone
said.
after
Yeah,
you're in your car, wherever the hell you're going. When you get there, you can look at it.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what I said. That's what I said earlier about you can't even go to a restaurant with your family without you looking over at the next table and they're just in their faces are in their phone instead of having a conversation. We don't do nothing anymore.
We don't even talk to our neighbors. That's what I'm saying. We've gotten so far away from everything. We need more common sense. We need more decency. But how are we going to get that if we don't talk to each other?
Well, and then keep in mind, the other problem too that I've started to notice that not everybody's going to be on the same page. When it comes to this type of stuff.
It's okay to disagree, but listen, it's just like the prisons. Until it happens to you, you don't know it. Until you don't know it.
Yeah. Look at Mark's comment right there. If my dog attacks a child and tears a child up, animal control won't have to do what needs to be done. You cross that line, you are an animal to me. Absolutely. See, when an animal attacks a child or does something very, very heinous, they put the dog down. Do you see what I'm saying? Right, and that's what they do. But when it comes to these monsters,
do you remember that one that we did the podcast about Louisiana passing the law to medically castrate? They're going to spend thousands of dollars doing that bullshit. But yet they can take that opportunity to medically examine the brain. Let's see what's misfiring. Where did the compulsion come from? Let's do some social studies. Do you know how many kids watch porn? Underage kids that watch porn? Do you know how many kids?
My kids don't know.
I know your kids don't, but I'm telling you, understand what I'm telling you. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this out as a hypothetical situation because, people do stupid stuff when you tell too much. It had nothing to do with me, but it is someone I know that did this. And I was like, wow, you are special. A mother that does not watch their child when they're on a device, and when you bring up your children on these devices and you're not paying attention to what they're doing, and they're watching inappropriate shit because they know it's taboo and it's not nice and all of that, and then they do it and they're watching the not nice stuff that maybe they've seen daddy watch or mommy watch. Let's be for real. People watch porn. It happens. Whatever. Personal choice. I am not God. It's not my judgment to make. So I'm going to say that. My point being is mommy or daddy may be watching it, or big brother or somebody, and little 6-year-old Timmy is watching it, and mom's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. But then 3 or 4 days later, mom's doing whatever the hell she wants, and little Timmy's watching it again.
Oh, imagine that.
What kind of behavior constitute and emotions and things of that kind of watching those things? And then look at the commercials. Look at who in the hell ever thought that it was appropriate to make shorts that said cute, hot, and all of that on the ass cheeks of shorts that go on little girls?
Man, you hit that on a nail. Walmart was selling those things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And every other
we're promoting it.
United States.
We're promoting it.
Why the hell would you want somebody looking at your kid's ass reading anything? That's what I'm saying. It's our culture, or it's culture driven as well. So we have to I don't trust any of them, Curtis. It's everywhere. It's everywhere around us. And if we can't educate our children how to be safe. I was talking to Jay about us possibly getting together and doing some coloring books, like a series, trying to teach kids to be proactive and be safe, and what they should tell mommy and daddy or grandma or grandpa or whoever, a teacher, police officer, somebody did something to them, or that somebody tried to do something to them. Preventive measures work if they're put in place. But if you don't teach your kids and you don't make them have the sense of that safety net, they're not going to know how to use those safety measures. So
Correct, Nico.
again, you know,
Right, correct. Nico said, if you're an adult, I don't care. But if you're a kid, F that.
that's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
See,
It's an issue.
kids
I
learn.
mean, the parent's supposed to be the one watching them,
Right,
not the device.
Kids learn what they live.
And
Mhm.
what about video games? Let's stick that out there
That's
too.
another
We
bad.
know.
Yeah, it's in the video games, like Grand Theft Auto. Think about it.
Yep. Yep, Nico, directly correct. A
Mhm.
hypothetical situation, a female that worked in a school, getting out there, and she was babysitting for
Yeah,
her friend, and they were teenage boys, and all of a sudden now she's on the registry because
yeah,
she put herself in a predicament, and who knows what's the truth. We'll never know. But don't put yourself in a situation you're not comfortable with.
right.
How about that? That's what I say. Don't put yourself, you know,
Well, again, there's that. I think you even said the word tonight, Tammy. You said the word temptation. And believe it or not, there's a buttload of it out there.
there is. And like Nico just said, my son was in a sexual relationship with his mom because
Wow.
of this, and we had to get fucking serious help.
Gosh.
Listen, it's out there,
Sorry,
people.
Nico.
I had a when I did an internship at a substance abuse and substance abuse center for teens.
Hmm.
We had almost all the females in there had been essayed one way or another, whether it was through molestation or something else. Okay, every single one of the females in there, and which led to their abusing substances because they couldn't cope, and that's how they coped. And I was sitting in on a session, and I wanted to throw up. I wanted to get up and leave. Well, I really wanted to hurt somebody. The father said that he essayed the daughter because he wanted her first time to be with somebody she loved. What in the world? Like, what? I had to just shake my head and say, did that just come out of his mouth? Did he really just say that he had intercourse with his own child,
Uh, see,
so that the first
first
time
off,
could be by somebody she loved?
I want to know how the heck you can even get to yourself to that point to even do that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, what trauma, what broken part of his brain do we need to fix?
Sorry to hear what
What,
happened about
what,
that, Mark. Thank you so much for your comment, Mark. Sorry about that. Man, that's crazy, man. This is deep.
see, this is a subject we needed to hit on. So, this love sex addiction can form into other perpetual crimes. And then you add in, and listen, it's a whole bunch of stuff. M- my husband was a cheater is the best. So what do they call them? Players. He was a player.
Hmm.
He wasn't before he went to college. When he went to college, it was he didn't drink. He didn't. He was a very shy, quiet person. When he went to college, they started telling him, "Hey, man, you got to hit that."
Hmm.
And they encourage him to drink and be drunk, and you weren't one of the football guys, you weren't one of the big shots around campus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a culture. Look at
Hmm. Everything
oh
nowadays
god,
seems to be a culture.
but in sports specifically, basketball players, football players, and baseball players, it's a cult mentality.
Yeah.
It's a good old boy or jock. You got to write it, and you got to act like you're Mr. Big Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It changed everything he was. And when you take that love addiction that you're trying to fill that void, and you start acting and telling yourself, "Oh, I'm doing it. I'm giving them everything. I'm the giver. I'm pleasing this woman. I'm pleasing that woman."
Correct.
or vice versa, a woman doing it to a man, and you're doing all this, that's how you excuse away the behavior that the other three women don't know about woman A. Or the drinking goes along with it, or the pill popping, or the snorting, or the shooting up, and it just, you want more and more and more, and so all of a sudden you go from just having one addiction at the very beginning, that if some adult, listen guys, some adult in the village noticed that little Susie or little Michael needed some help, that they acted strange around certain adults, we're so damn self-absorbed we can't see the ones crying out for help.
Mhm.
When are we going to wake up and start helping those
Spot on, Mark.
kids
Thank you,
so
Mark.
that we can help? It comes with, and then we have the reoffending. Redeeming, I know you're in here. I know you're hearing all of this. I hope you're taking notes, because I really think that these are keys and mechanisms to which we can start to heal. And I love Jay's ideal about the medical. That's where that comes from me, is
Yeah.
Jay. I think
Yeah.
that we have to get neurologists, psychiatrists,
If,
psychologists, sociologists. We need to get them all together, and we need to get a group of experts and start working on this.
and Tammy, I'm glad you brought that up, and thank you for the credit. I appreciate that. But I want everybody to know, including you, Tammy, that I believe we probably already have done that. And I think the reason why we're not seeing anything compared to what we're seeing currently right now is because I bet you anything, they tried it, they tested it, and I bet they, just like with AIDS and cancer and other organizations and whatnot, I bet they figured it out, but there's no money in it. So they're going to do it the other route, saying, "Oh, we need to castrate because they think that's what will stop these urges or whatnot that happen against these children." No, I don't think it's your body part down there between your legs. It's in the brain, just like you said. I agree 100%. Go ahead, Tammy.
Well, I'll be honest.
I don't think it's
I
the. I
think
don't think it's.
I think that we have to start with the kids, and I think that we have to start with them first, and I say we do, like with the prisons, and this is another thing too I figured out, and I was thinking about it. So the heat stuff that's going on in Texas,
Yeah.
and I told you guys, I want to tell you something. There
Go
was
ahead, Tammy. It's all yours.
four people that lost their lives on Friday of last
Just
week
recently.
at
Just
a
recently.
unit, and three of them were in ADSEG with no escape and were left there to unalive from the heat. And
And see,
then
that's what I'm talking about.
the other one was in the kitchen working. He got overheated. He went into the cooler for 15 minutes, came out of the cooler, collapsed on the floor, and then they yelled and screamed for a CO to come. 10 minutes later, the CO comes, 10 to 15 minutes. CO has no radio to call for help, gets inmate up, gets upset because can't figure out why the inmate won't just get up.
No
So
radio.
gets the inmate up. Inmate walks 2 or 3 steps, collapses again, and is unalived at that point.
See,
And
that's
it
that.
takes them another 10 minutes to come get the body. Listen,
Don't get don't get me started.
and Texas had a surplus last year.
Yeah.
On top of, they made a surplus, guys, a surplus. The prison system in Texas made a surplus.
Oh, this gives
And
me a headache.
so we are sitting here. Listen, all prison is, honest to God, to me now, the way I see it. I
The
know
warehouse.
there's some bad people out there, but I'm going to tell you something. It's all it is modern day slavery all again. They found a
Mhm.
way to make money. The prisons over here in Texas, the cups and the spoons and the bowls and the shoes, the little Oxford black slides that they wear everywhere, and the white ones and the tan ones, Those are all made in Texas and they're sold to other prisons and our own prisoners. The
Yeah.
stuff I bought for my husband was made by inmates.
Yeah.
And
See?
he's an inmate. And they do not get paid in Texas. And the time, this good time, blah, blah crap, it all washes away. It doesn't do anything because anybody with an aggravated charge does not get that good time. You understand? Like, it's just.
No, I get it. It just, well, look, I'll say this, and I know you're right there with me, Tammy. This shit, if excuse my French, but I'm just going to keep it real. This shit pisses me off. There's no excuse why any of that should have happened. None.
None. And Nico said, SLAA saved my life. It is in the brain. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it wouldn't even be in the brain if our brain had not been forced. It reminds me of, how your heart has a stroke and then your body, parts of your body don't work normally anymore.
Amen, Curtis. Go ahead.
Our brain does the same thing when we go through traumatic experiences. Jay, what you and Jay Lee went through growing up. Me, what I went through growing up.
Yeah.
Nico's childhood trauma. That's Nico's story to tell, not mine. But, every one of us in here, I promise you, every one of us has trauma. And some of us have dealt with it and some of us haven't. Period. That's what it comes to. And damaged people hurt other people.
Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tammy. Go ahead.
Tim Mann's asking, what is SLA? It's
Go ahead.
Sex, Love, Addiction Anonymous.
Yes.
Sex and Love Addiction. And Jay is going to put in the thing where you can find a local chapter near you. Yeah. I would recommend that any of you that feel like you're never going to meet your partner and you feel lonely, upset, and feel those voids and have had trouble with meaningful relationships, I would highly, highly recommend that you go to some of those meetings and meet some of those folks and see the program.
Yeah. And again, I don't say most. I think there's a few people in here that are SA survivors. I'm an SA survivor. Tammy, you're an SA survivor, correct? A lot of us can, how do I say this? A lot of us, in a sense, can relate. But some people say that you never heal from it. Well, I'm probably gonna get beat up for this, but I'll say this: I've healed, even though it's still there. I've healed. Go ahead, Tim.
You can heal and you can have a meaningful relationship. Rick is still healing.
Hey, Trey Stone, that's awesome. Thank you, Trey.
Oh, I love it. Listen, I went from drinking at 13 because everything was swept under the rug. And not only was I dealing with abuse from being 5 and watching my poor little brother that was only, God, he was only 2. He was a 2-year-old. Watching that to growing up with a mother who was absolutely, I don't even think monster is kind. Is too kind. Growing up being terrible, watching people, and I, as much as I love my dad and I can put him on a pedestal all day long, he taught me to be who I am, but he also grew up in that era, and I don't know if you can relate to this maybe with your grandparents, Jay, but he stayed in a marriage with a woman that he really didn't know what kind of evil she really had. We got locked in the basement. We had things done to us that
you don't have to go into details.
Screwed us up so bad. And so here we were, survivors of one thing already by a stranger, and then at our own home, and the person that should have defended us Should have been my dad. He wasn't there a lot, and my mom would spin it in her favor.
Mhm.
So that we were terrible and we were this and we were doing this and that. That's the thing though. I wondered all the time, and some way I came to forgiving her was when I went to college and got educated on mental illness, on substance abuse,
Right.
on
Right.
childhood development and traumas and things. When you knowledge is power, guys. If you go
Mhm.
in and you dig deep, you can heal. You're not ever going to be perfect. Your life's never going
No.
to be perfect. Life
And I'm
isn't
not.
meant to be
I
that
don't
way.
ever get on. Right. I don't ever get on this thing and say I'm perfect either, and never tried to be. But I will do my
No,
best to expose the truth and put the truth out there, regardless if it's something that somebody don't like. It is
that's
what it is.
right. And we've come up here and we've taken beatings from people
Yeah.
because we want to get rid of the registry. The registry is not helping anything.
No.
It's making people that are sick, mentally sick,
Mhm.
go into hiding and commit crimes. And now, with these severe punishments, what's going to happen is they're unaliving children when they're
There you go.
committing these
You said it.
crimes.
You said it. And
And
that's
that's the
because
problem. Now we have no eye on them.
that's because of the registry. The registry gives out the address, the car they drive, this, that, everything else, and they go right to those persons' houses and destroy or hurt the whole entire family that's living in that house. And for what?
And, and,
What
and
does
this
that
is
do?
what I used to say. Like with my restaurant, I had some kids and I hired both men and women and juvenile offenders.
Yeah.
No matter what their crime was, I would hire them to work in the restaurant. I worked with local probation and parole department because if they're in my restaurant and they're working, we know where they're at, right? Instead
I
of
get
them
it.
out being in hiding. They're doing something productive. They have something to look forward to. They have a life. They have a job. They have a purpose. They
Mm-hmm.
have people that are trying to promote positivity in their life. I'm not saying everybody's not ever going to harm again, but we sure as hell let people that are full of money, pockets full of gold, get away with all kinds of stuff. And we sure let them keep getting behind the wheel, behind the wheel, behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
That's okay. Or we let them run organizations and CEOs and this and that. You know why they're hiding and they're reflecting so hardcore on all the black actors and actresses right now?
Yeah.
Because they're hiding all the white judges, all the white politicians, and my skin color's white, but you know what? And so is yours, Jay. But it's the
Yeah.
truth. It is a racial problem,
Mm-hmm. It's sick.
and it's a poor person's
It
problem
it
too. Poor
shouldn't.
white people,
We
poor
shouldn't be like. We shouldn't
Hispanic
have to live like that.
Latinos. Yeah, it's ridiculous. What in the world are we going to keep doing this for? Why are we going to keep going down the same damn beaten path? We need to rise up and we need to become a functioning, productive,
Mhm.
helpful, moving towards positivity. The people that cannot be helped, we have to figure out what to do with them. The
Mhm.
ones that can, though, if we reach out a hand, some people can get rehabilitation.
I think anybody can fix if they put their mindset to it. That's how I look at it.
Most people can. I think we will find that there are some of our serial killers, some of our very deviant, like the mother that did that to her 1 and 3 year old, or the one we read about today. There are some people that have a dark, evil, yeah, evil, evil, evil people that have something wrong. There's a switch broken in them.
Yeah.
And I think they
And
can be fixed if we can find that switch. We need to find that switch.
that's the key thing. I think obviously if we really focused hard and take all of this research, technology, money, and all that and focus on what matters, folks and Tammy, I believe we can find it. We can find it, stop it, and that should fix it.
Yeah, we can fix everything else. I mean, we control
Yeah.
the weather, we control we
Don't
control
get me started on
economies, we
that.
control all these things, but we don't want to fix things that affect our children. And we need to fix this broken system. I'm
Right.
tired of the checks and balances that don't exist. How in the hell are you going to have a judicial committee babysitting itself, or a bar association full of lawyers babysitting lawyers? No, let's get some real people in there. Let's get some people that served 25, 50 years for a crime they didn't commit. Let's put them on that panel. Because
Hmm.
I promise you, those people, those human beings that suffered for all those years, or the parents of somebody that was unalived by a state, criminally unalived, because it's criminal to put somebody to unalivement
Hmm.
sentence and commit that act, and then turn around and find out that the DNA comes back that they never committed the crime. Let's put some of those people's families and the people that are come back and we find that they didn't do the crime, let's put them on the lawyer babysit bar association. Let's put them sitting at the head of the FBI. Let's put them at the head of the DOJ and
Hmm.
DOCs. Let's let them run some shit,
Hmm.
because you know what, they will keep it from happening again.
Hmm.
I promise you.
Yeah.
Let them sit on parole boards. That's our problem. Our system is broken, and the people that are causing it to be broken have committed more heinous crimes than we could ever imagine. I promise you.
Yeah. Real quick, guys, before we go, because I'm
Sorry.
past my time. No, you're good. I want to show that one thing real quick.
Okay.
Why is it saying? Hold on a minute. Now, what did I just do? See, it's like, okay, what happened? Unable to share screen now. Why? It was
Okay.
working just fine earlier. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I got to figure this out.
And
Okay.
guys, I encourage you to go back and like read the whole articles. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's all in
I
my.
learn something new every time I research things, and Jay reaches searches things, and people in our group like Redeeming Tin Man and
Mhm.
John Doe and Orphan Annie and everybody that puts stuff. So, this
Yeah.
is a useful piece here, Jay.
Yeah. This
You could
is
go
well,
on and find
trying to bring
locations.
what this whole deal here with this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is to bring awareness and educate the masses and try to bring some solid, fair, real, true justice and change within our system. That's my whole point here. Without you guys' help and your guys' knowledge and whatnot, I don't know where this podcast would be. But so thank you, Tammy, for your help. But
Oh, you're
anyways,
welcome.
it says here on the screen, guys, if you guys can see it real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of go through this fast. And I got to bounce out of here. Got stuff to do after this live, but I do appreciate you guys more than you know. If you guys can become a member, please do so. Go to my channel, hit the join button, become a member, help out this channel, help me out, because again, this podcast costs a lot of money to keep it rolling and keep it on the air. And I do need help and support on that aspect. I'm having issues and troubles and technical issues with my store. I do have a store, but you can't see it. It's not up on here, but more on that here in just a minute. But anyways, on the screen, you guys can see it says right here, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. So just like AA for alcoholics, they actually have Sex Anonymous. Here it is. Reach out to these guys if you have a problem. Get yourself some help if you think you have a problem with it or you can't control it. It's right there in front of your screen. And then you can check out any of the information here on this page. The link is in the description. Is there anything you want to say on this, Tammy, real quick?
Well, no, I do want to read something else that a friend posted that I think hits you, I, and everybody in this group that puts forth some effort and helps and loves us, and we love them, and we're like our own little family here. Um, when you have a cause, you'll believe you can accomplish what seems impossible, that you can overcome what looks insurmountable. Find your cause. Fight for someone who can't fight for themselves. Get involved in something bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's where your crown is. That's where your greatness is going to come out. So remember that we are in this fight together.
Correct.
We may have our own different separate battles going on, but we together, and I preach it all the time in all the advocacy groups that I'm a part of on Facebook, and I tell them, ladies, quit being singular. Your husband is suffering. So if
Right.
you quit bitching when he leaves the cell and he gets moved, but that problem's still there, the next husband's going to be in there, and the next father and brother and son or whatever have you.
Right. Correct.
Keep on them about that issue. So please, all of you, just remember that every time you have a voice, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Especially in here.
Well, that's what we're here for. Your voice, our voice, the people in the chat's voice, we all matter.
We do.
And we can't bring any kind of change within the system until we all stand up and be on the same page. We got to stop the fighting, the bickering, and all that, because it doesn't get us nowhere. You have a right to your opinion. I'm not always going to agree with you, but we got to fight regardless.
Exactly.
So I think I'm going to leave it there, Tammy. Is there something you wanted to say before we close out?
No, just want to see everybody Friday, and hopefully I'll be doing my video for the Beat the Heat Challenge. And don't think I'm not going to be labeling some of you out there to kind of do it too. Wink, wink. Just letting you know, we're going to do the Beat the Heat. Awareness, and that's for all prisons, not just.
I'm going to do mine here too, because it gets hot just like it does in your area. So Tammy, are you going to tag me in that?
I'm going to send it to you so that you can post it in the thing Friday night. I think it's good, so everybody could do it over the weekend, and everybody can share their videos. They can send them to you, to me.
Yeah.
I'll post on Facebook.
Well, like I said, tag me in it, Tammy, so I don't miss it. Just put my my channel name or wherever you're going to put it. Just tag me so I get notice on the tag.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do Facebook with you, and then you can bring it into the show Friday.
Okay.
The videos.
Fair enough. So anybody in the chat that want to do this challenge, it's the what is it again? The car challenge, the heat challenge.
It's called the Beat the Heat Challenge.
There you go.
And it's at your own discretion, folks. Okay, Rick's calling. Bye.
Okay, take care, Tammy.
Love you all.
Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you guys have it. You guys can see that we're definitely doing some things to try to bring awareness to the very corrupt and bad prison system as a whole. People are dying in the Deep South with this heat-related issues, and it's nonsense. It shouldn't be happening, but it's happening. So it's called Beat the Heat. You're going to sit in your car for 3 seconds, I think it is. And I'm going to go over that. I'm going to see how long I can sit in there. And I got believe it or not, I'm going to show you right here just to prove it. I got my digital thermometer. Right now it's 87 degrees in my room right now, and that's with the air on and AC on. It was in 90 plus today outside. So it can get toasty in here. Nonetheless, before I go, I'll go get in the chat real quick. Trey said this: I'm trying to get a diagnosed as an adult. It sounds difficult to do. That's interesting. Thank you so much, Trey, for that. I appreciate it. Tin Man said, safety, don't suggest others do it and let them know the dangers. Absolutely. This is only for people that can actually handle it and are healthy enough to do this. I'm going to do it because, I'm used to the heat. It gets hot in here. It is what it is. It's not going to bother me. I'm healthy enough to do it anyways. And then Curtis said, call me, Tin Man. So you've been called out. And then Tin Man said, I'll call you, Kurt, in a few minutes. Thank you very much for 2 minutes. And Tin Man said 2 minutes, right? Yeah, well, it's 3 minutes, actually. But if you can go past that, that's even better. It just proves the point, how hot it can get in your car and how hot it can get in the prison cells. But anyways, with that being said, guys, thank you guys again so much for being here. I appreciate and love and respect every single one of you. Every day we do these podcasts, or at least every Wednesday and Fridays. So I appreciate you guys more than you know. Again, if you guys want to become a member, you can do that right now. Go over there to my channel, hit the member section on my main page, and become a member like Mark did. All contributions and whatnot help this channel to grow and get out there and support me, because again, it takes money to keep this thing running and on the air, if you get my drift. So help me in any way you guys can. I will keep you guys updated on my merch store. It's on their end, not mine. I have a whole brand new store, brand new merch, all that, but I can't put it up here because they're having issues on their end. Imagine that. But they're fixing it nonetheless. All right, guys. With that being said, I will go ahead and bounce out of here. We'll keep you guys updated. If I get tagged anything or have any updates going on with this prison stuff, you'll be hear from me first. All right. With that being said, I'm your host, Jay. I will see you guys in the next one. Good night, everybody. Take care. Peace.